Emma, it's Mom. Are you still at work? Is this a bad time to be calling?
Hey, Mom. How are you? Oh, don't worry. I finished work already. It's almost 7 p.m. here in Seattle, so I've been done for the day for a while now. It's not too late for you, is it? I'm always conscious about the time difference between here and Atlanta.
Well, I just can't seem to get to sleep these days, so I thought I might as well give you a call.
You haven't been sleeping well recently? This seems to have been a pattern since you started going through the menopause, hasn't it? Did those special menopause supplements I sent you not do anything to help? They're hormonal supplements, so they're supposed to be really good.
Oh, they were really good. I've been meaning to thank you properly for getting me those.
Then how come you're still having the same problems? Is it because you're worrying about something that you're not able to sleep? Is there something on your mind?
I suppose you were going to find out sooner or later, so I might as well bite the bullet and just tell you now. It's about your dad. He's been diagnosed with lung cancer.
What? Dad has lung cancer?
Yeah. He was worried that you would just drop everything and come over here immediately, and he didn't want to make you worry, so he told me not to say anything. But how could I keep my mouth shut about something big like this? He received the diagnosis 2 weeks ago, and the doctor said that he was very lucky that it was discovered now, because it's still in the early stages and something can still be done about it.
Why didn't you tell me as soon as he got the diagnosis? How did they find out about it? Did he have to go to the hospital because he was in pain? Or did they find out as part of a routine health check? How is he doing at the moment?
I'll answer all of your questions, but please, slow down and ask them one by one. Panicking isn't going to get us anywhere now, is it? He just went for a general health checkup, and they found that something wasn't quite right with his lungs. They then sent him for a more thorough lung examination, and that's when they found out that there was cancer there. He was much calmer than I thought he would be when he found out. As soon as they broke the news to him, he went and threw all of his cigarettes in the trash.
This is why I told him that he should have given up smoking a long time ago. It hasn't spread to anywhere else in his body, has it? If he has surgery and goes through treatment, he'll be able to make a full recovery, right?
Of course. They found it before he even started showing symptoms, so if he manages it well and reacts well to the treatment, he should be back to normal in no time. And this leads me to what I wanted to tell you today. We're planning on going back to Seattle for a while your dad goes through this treatment. Of course, we could easily get him treated here, but he said he would like to feel the comforts of being at home whilst he goes through this hard time. Seattle is also way closer to the sea, and he said that he wants to soak up some of the sea air. He seems to think it will help him to recover faster.
Really? That's great news. It will be so nice being able to see you guys regularly again. When are you planning on coming? I can get everything in place for you guys if you tell me the details.
Your dad is just tying up a few loose ends at work at the moment. He's making sure he's leaving the running of the company to his most trusted employees and that they all know exactly what to do whilst he's gone. Once he's confident that everything will run smoothly in his absence, then we'll head over immediately.
Okay. Hopefully it all doesn't take too long. Once you've bought your plane tickets, let me know so I can come and pick you up at the airport.
What's wrong, honey? You don't seem that excited for someone who's just been proposed to. Do you not want to marry me? Come on, let me know what's on your mind.
Oh no, it's not that I don't want to marry you. I'm really happy that you proposed to me in such a romantic way with the perfect ring and my favorite flowers. It's just that I don't think I'm in the right place to be getting married right now.
What do you mean by that? Is it because of money troubles? Or is it something else that you'd rather not tell me about?
No, it's nothing like that. It's just that a couple of days ago, I found out that my dad has been diagnosed with lung cancer. It's still in the early stages, so the doctor said if they operate now, the chances of him making a full recovery are high. But I just can't help but worry that he could still take a turn for the worse at any point. He also still needs to go through chemotherapy. There's just a lot to worry about at the moment, and I don't really think it's the best timing for me to be getting engaged and trying to think about planning a wedding. I'd really like to focus on my dad's recovery for now, but I hope that you'd be happy to wait and we can talk about marriage again once he's better. I'm really sorry that I couldn't give you the answer you wanted to hear today, but I really need you to know that I'm not saying no because I don't love you or that I don't want to marry you. We're great together, and you're always so good to me. We're also at the right age to be thinking about marriage now, so I would be lying if I said that perhaps getting engaged to you soon hadn't been on my mind recently.
Ah, I see. To be honest, I think that in your circumstances, going ahead with the engagement would actually be better than postponing it.
What makes you say that?
Well, when people get sick, they tend to worry a lot and have a lot on their mind, right? They especially start to worry about the future, don't they? Surely the idea that his only daughter is going to be married soon will be good news for your dad, and will put his mind at ease a little bit. Didn't you say that your parents had been pressing you about getting married recently? I'm sure what they want more than anything is to see you happy with a family of your own, and getting engaged is the first step towards that. So I feel like the news of your engagement would be a lovely surprise for your dad whilst he's going through a tough time.
I do understand where you're coming from, but I still think that it's not the best idea to get engaged right away. Getting married isn't something that we can decide to do all of a sudden just because we want to. There's a lot of preparation that would need to be done, and it concerns both of our families as well as just the two of us. I think that the stress of planning the wedding would be too much for my parents right now.
I know, and that's why I'm saying let's not get married straight away. We can get engaged but plan for the actual wedding to take place a year or two in the future. That way we can get everything done slowly without stressing anyone out. And I know that our parents haven't met each other yet because your parents have been living in Atlanta for a while. But now they're here, we can arrange for them all to meet when your dad is feeling a bit better. To tell you the truth, my mom has been relentlessly nagging me about getting married these days. She thinks that 35 is a shockingly late age to be getting married. Every time we talk, all she does is go on about when we're going to get married, when she's going to get to meet you and your parents, etc., etc. I understand that things are difficult for your family at the moment, but can't you see that it's difficult for me having to put up with my mom being like this all the time as well? After we've appeased her by announcing the engagement, we can do everything according to your pace. What do you think?
I mean, surely we can just explain the situation to your mom and then she'll understand why we can't get married right away. If we go ahead and announce the engagement to her, won't she then just get on our backs about setting a date as soon as possible? And then you're essentially left with the same problem you have right now.
Let's just go ahead with the engagement for now to make her happy, and I'll explain everything to her after that. Because she's never actually met you, I'm starting to worry that she's going to think that I've been pretending to have a girlfriend all this time. So, what do you say? There's no harm in just announcing the engagement, really, is there? You said that you do want to marry me eventually, after all. So how about we just announce the engagement, introduce our families to each other, and then just wait until your dad is completely recovered to actually start planning the wedding? Huh?
I really don't understand why your mom is so keen on making sure you get married as soon as possible.
Did I not tell you before? There are 4 generations of my family still around, so there's a lot of pressure from the elders in my family to start the 5th generation while they're all still around.
Wait, seriously? No, I don't think you've really told me about this before. That's actually quite amazing. If I'm honest, hearing that does make me a little worried about pressure from the older ladies in your family, though.
Oh, it'll be fine, don't worry. My family isn't one of those crazy backward families with outdated traditional values and expectations about what a woman's place in the home is. But if my mom ever does say something that you don't like, I'll make sure to take your side against her, okay? So let's just go ahead with the engagement, Emma. Please.
I feel like I might regret this later, but all right. I'm happy to get engaged to you. Let's start by arranging for our parents to meet each other, and then we can start worrying about planning the actual wedding when my dad is feeling a little better.
Yes! That's great news. I'm so happy. Let's pick a date to go for dinner with both sets of parents as soon as possible, then. If everything is okay with your dad, of course.
Does he really want to marry me that bad? He looks super happy. I do feel bad that I can't give him the same enthusiasm back, but my priority is making sure my dad's surgery goes well and helping him through his recovery. Hey, Mom! Hey, Dad!
Hi there, sweetie. Did you find the new house okay?
How could I miss it? It's the only house on the street with a blue roof, after all. Well, Mom, looks like you're settling into the comfy life already. Not even getting out of your pajamas when your daughter has come round to see you.
I'm just trying to make this new place feel like home. I remind myself of my grandma in these floral pajama pants. I bought a bunch of different sets, so you can take one home with you if you like.
I'm okay, thanks, Mom. How are you feeling today, Dad? I hope you're not too nervous about your surgery next week.
Oh, I'm feeling fine. Don't you worry about me, sweetheart. I've been enjoying taking a few walks by the sea, and I feel healthier than ever.
It even looks like you made yourself a little vegetable garden out the back there. Lettuce, onions, tomatoes. Looks like you've got everything growing there.
Isn't it great? I chose this house because it had the potential for a little vegetable garden, and I thought it would be nice to have a little project to keep me busy. I did have to negotiate with the guy who owns it a little to get permission to plant the vegetable garden, but he ended up saying it's not a problem. His youngest daughter normally lives here, but she's gone away on a 5-month trip, so that would be plenty of time to make good use of the garden and then put it back to how it used to be if they really want me to. We just needed a place to stay whilst they finish up with the renovations at the new villa, so this time period was perfect for us. This is such a quiet area way out of the city center, and only old people seem to live here, so it's perfect for us whilst we want to have a slower pace of life.
Well, I'm glad that you could find a place. I'm surprised that you were able to move into this place so quickly, actually.
Well, we jumped at the opportunity as soon as it came up. There was no way I was spending more than 1 or 2 nights in a hotel in my condition.
The house is a little old, but it's cute and cozy and I love the decor. Does it make you think of Grandma's house a little?
It really does, when you come to think of it. Is the new villa in this neighborhood as well?
Not quite. It's about 40 minutes from here by car. It's a very different vibe to this place. Everyone in that area is either there for a slower pace of life like us, or are second homers who are only there at the weekend.
Well, you'll have to take me to check it out as soon as the renovations are finished. I'm curious as to what kind of place it is.
Yes, I'm sure you're going to really like it there. By the way, didn't you say that you were bringing your fiancé over to meet us this weekend? Is he really alright coming all the way out here just to see us? This place is so far from the city center that it might as well be part of a completely different city. Shall we just go into the city center to make things easier for him?
There's no need for you to do that. It will cause you guys way more trouble than it's worth. We'll come here. It's not a problem for him.
It's really nice that he's in such a hurry to meet us, but I do wish that he would wait until we'd had time to settle in properly first. We've barely had time to tidy up the house and make it our own.
Yeah, I said the same thing. His whole family seems a bit weird about this whole engagement thing. When I went to see his mom, she grabbed my hand and looked me straight in the eyes, asking me to help carry on the family line into the next generation. It made me feel a little uncomfortable, to say the least.
Oh dear. That doesn't bode well, does it? They sound like the sort of traditional family that would put a lot of pressure on you to have a son as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that as well, to be honest. But Ben did say that he would always take my side no matter what, even against his mom. So I guess I'll just have to see how things go for now.
It's nice to give people the benefit of the doubt, but as soon as things get too weird, you shouldn't hesitate to run for the hills. There was a girl who worked at my company who was with her boyfriend for 8 years before they got married, and she always thought he was a perfect nice guy. But after they got married, he turned into a completely different person. Apparently, he was even violent towards her. You need to be careful. Even though you've been dating him for 3 years, you haven't lived together, and for all you know, he could be putting on a front to try and look good in order to get you to marry him, and then he'll rip off his mask as soon as the wedding ceremony is over. So many young guys are like that these days, you know? They think that once they've trapped a woman in a marriage, they can start acting however they like. You should always tread carefully, no matter how well you think you know a person. We'll respect whichever decision you want to make. So if you want to marry him, we'll give our blessing. And if you don't, we'll also be okay with it.
Thank you so much, Dad.
Is this really where your parents live?
Yeah, it is. Why do you sound so disappointed? Anyway, let's head on in. I don't want to keep them waiting.
Okay, sure.
Frank, Emma's here. Hi there. You must be Ben. I'm so pleased to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm Sharon, Emma's mom. Frank, Emma's dad, is waiting for us in the living room. Come on in and make yourself at home.
Hi, Sharon. It's really nice to meet you too. Should I leave my shoes by the door?
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Do you not have any slippers or anything? We don't wear shoes inside the house at my place, but we don't go barefoot either because it's a little uncomfortable. So I was just wondering if you had any slippers I could put on.
Slippers, you say? Sorry, we don't have any here. Are you really uncomfortable?
Oh, no, it's fine, don't worry. Let's just head inside. Emma's parents' house is a little more unrefined than I had expected. It looks like a really old place. I feel like you'd find cobwebs in every corner. Ugh, yuck.
What on earth are you looking up there for? Come on, let's go and sit down.
Emma said that you really like steak, so my wife has gone ahead and cooked some for you. I don't know if it's to your taste or not, but we hope you'll enjoy it.
Thank you so much. It looks really tasty.
If I was in better health, I would do a toast with you, son. But I think I'd better lay off the booze for now.
We'll have plenty of time to drink together later on, I'm sure. And I'm driving today, so it's not like I could have had a drink anyway. And anyway, the place is a bit of a mess.
Huh? What did you just say?
Oh, it's nothing, don't worry. I heard that you'll be having your surgery in a few weeks. Won't it be a little uncomfortable going all the way into the city to get to the hospital?
Oh no, it's fine. Sharon can drive, so it'll only take us around an hour to get there and back. I like the relaxed atmosphere around here, so I'd rather not be any closer to the city.
So you're saying you're going to stay here from now on? You don't want to move to the city at all?
Of course I don't. Why would I put myself in the uncomfortable position of being in the city when I've come here for a slower pace of life?
Yeah. I suppose you wouldn't want to do that.
Are you all right, Ben? You're looking a little uncomfortable.
Oh, it's just been a while since I sat and had dinner on the couch, that's all. It can be good for your posture to sit like this in your old age, so why don't you sit up to the dinner table? If you guys don't have one, I can always buy you one and have it sent over.
I don't really know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to take this call. I'll just step outside for a second so I don't disturb you. Don't wait up for me. I'll finish my dinner when I'm done with the call. Hello? Yeah, it's me.
Ben really doesn't look very comfortable. I wonder what's making him so on edge. The way he's been talking has also seemed a little weird to me.
I agree. I wasn't expecting him to have the manners of a prince or anything, but he's acting less like someone who's come to meet his partner's parents and ask them for their blessing, and more like a loan shark who's come to collect his money.
Something's not quite right here. Ew, it stinks in here. Did you smoke? Didn't you tell me you quit? You know how I feel about smoking since it's the reason my dad got cancer.
Relax, I only smoked one because I was feeling a little weird. If you don't like the smell, you can just open the window.
And why were you feeling weird?
Shall I tell you the truth?
Go on, tell me.
I was really excited to meet your parents today. Your parents sounded like high flyers, and they raised you so well, so I thought they must be really cool, sophisticated people.
And?
Their appearance, their manners, and the atmosphere of the house were way different to what I had expected. So I guess I was a little disappointed.
And what exactly do you mean by that? Why did you have such hopes and expectations about my parents and their house?
Well, it's just with your dad running his own business and with them jetting from one side of the country to the other. I was expecting them to live in a bigger, fancier house. Or even an apartment. Anything is better than the old country cottage they have here. Are you sure that the reason they came back here isn't that your dad's business failed and they went bankrupt and that the cancer is just an excuse?
Watch your mouth! You can't just go around saying whatever you want about people, you know.
Well, why else would they live in an awful, stuffy little house like that unless they'd gone bankrupt? I feel like living in a place like this is going to make him even more sick. There's no way he's come here to recuperate. Go on, tell me the truth about how they've ended up here. Isn't it just because they can't afford to live in the city and this is all that they can manage?
Why on earth are you so obsessed with my parents' house all of a sudden? Why does it matter to you whether my mom and dad live in a fancy house or not?
It does matter to me. If I had known you were from a family with nothing but a little squat house like that to their name, I never would have proposed to you in the first place.
Are you saying you regret proposing to me then? Did you not ask me to marry you because you love me?
I did love you. Well, I loved your capabilities and your good looks. You drive a fancy car and you dress like someone from a rich family, so I thought we would be a good match. I have a good education and a good job, and thanks to my parents, who always made a lot of money from their jobs at reputable companies, I never wanted for anything in life. You must have felt really jealous when you saw how nice my family's house is in comparison to yours, huh? How did it feel to see the leather sofas and the dining table that can sit more than 10 people? Did it make you feel happy that you could try and ride on my coattails?
Oh, so now I'm seeing your true colors. My dad was right about you. Sorry to have to pull the rug out from under you, but I guess I'll have to tell you exactly what I was actually thinking when I was at your family's house. I was thinking that the food your mom cooked was so incredibly salty that I needed a whole liter of water to recover.
Hey, don't bring my mom's cooking into this. What gives you the right to criticize her?
And what gives you the right to look down on my parents like that? You've just proved how empty-headed and narrow-minded you are with that little speech of yours you made just now.
Hey, this is getting personal.
What? Are you offended now? Oh, boo-hoo! You should have thought about that before you started running your mouth off.
Who do you think you are talking back to me like that?
Who do you think you are, spouting ridiculous nonsense about how my parents must have gone bankrupt to be living in a house like that? Do you really think you can just judge people's entire lives just by looking at their house and jump to your own far-fetched conclusions like that? If you have the time to be coming up with crazy stories in your head, you should be using it to stop your massive ego from breaking through the roof. I can't believe the things I've heard coming out of your mouth tonight.
Why do you have to be so mean? Is that all you have to say to me?
You're the one who started this, so you have no right to sit there fuming just because I retaliated. Did you think I wouldn't get upset after all those things you said about me and my family? Even if I wasn't your girlfriend. That's no way to speak to another person. How did I not realize earlier how much of a piece of trash you are?
These are big words coming from a girl whose family doesn't have a penny to their name.
I don't know who exactly you think you are, but the way you're talking makes it sound like your parents are the richest people in the world. Aren't you being a bit hasty judging my parents just based off of that house? What do you know about them other than that? I really didn't want to have to say this because I didn't want to rub it in your face, but you've backed me into a corner. My dad owns 5 buildings in Atlanta. Do with that information what you wish.
Do you really expect me to believe that? If that was true, why would they live in a house like that?
Their actual house is under renovation right now, so they're staying in that place temporarily for a few months.
Oh, really? Sounds like nonsense to me. So I'm guessing those a few months will become 1 year, and then eventually 10 years. Am I right?
You really don't believe me, huh?
Of course I don't. Would you, based on what I've seen? If your dad owns 5 buildings in Atlanta, then my mom owns the whole of Manhattan. I'm sick of this back and forth, so why don't we just break up already? You're obviously tired of me, and to be honest, I've kind of lost all affection for you after finding out the truth about your family. Why should we waste our time getting at each other's throats when we know there's no point?
You're right. After seeing who you really are, I have no intention of carrying on this relationship either.
It's just my luck to have wasted 3 precious years of my life with a girl from such an embarrassing family. You can get back by yourself from here, right? We aren't on the freeway yet, so you can still easily get out and walk.
I'll be fine. You just worry about yourself. After all, that's all you have been doing this whole time. What a piece of work. How can somebody do a complete 180 like that overnight? I guess you were always just into me for my appearance and background, and you never really liked me for who I was. Well, I guess we'll wait and see if you can find another girl as good as me. And I'll bet good money that you can't.
Hey, don't slam the door. Do you know how expensive this car was? Can you afford to compensate me if it gets damaged? Hey! Why did you walk past me and act like you don't know me? Our eyes met, so I know that you saw me.
Me?
Yes, you! Don't you remember me? You can't have forgotten already. You came to my house just 2 weeks ago. It's Marjorie, Ben's mom.
So what? Why should I care?
So what? Is that all you can say to me? I see that you were just putting on appearances when you came round to my place. What are you in such a bad mood for anyway? You clearly don't have a shred of respect for your elders.
Ah, that's right. I forgot that you take yourself very seriously. I don't know what you could possibly want to get out of coming here.
I'm going to let your insolence slide just this once, because I'm a very patient and tolerant person. I heard that you and Ben broke up.
Is that why you came all the way here to wait outside my office? You could just ask your son about it. I don't know what merit there is in coming to talk to me about it. If you've come to check whether it's true or not, I'll tell you right now that yes, it is. The engagement is off.
Are you sure? You can't go around changing your mind at the last minute after this, you know.
If I was thinking about changing my mind, I would probably be a little bit nicer to you, don't you think? In my opinion, there's no reason for us to ever see each other again. So I don't care what your opinion of me is.
God is obviously on my side, helping me dodge the bullet of having such a mannerless girl for a daughter-in-law. I thought you would know more about how to behave properly since you graduated from an Ivy League college, but I guess you didn't learn anything of any use whilst you were there.
Well, if you know so much about how a lady should behave, why are you showing up outside your son's ex-girlfriend's office when their relationship is clearly over? Just thinking about him makes me shudder in revulsion, and I don't really want to be reminded of him. So why on earth have you come here and decided to make a fuss?
I just came to make sure that it really was over between you two. That's all. My Ben clearly made the right decision, getting rid of a useless girl like you. He's going on a blind date I arranged for him already, by the way. She's from a much better background than you. Apparently, her parents own a place in the richest neighborhood in town.
You don't need to tell me any of this. It's nothing to do with me. Whoever he decides to get with from now on is none of my business. And I really couldn't care less.
You really are such an ill-mannered girl. I don't know how Ben managed to put up with you for 3 whole years. I'm so pleased that I've been spared the ordeal of having grandchildren with your genes. Excuse me! I'm still talking! Where do you think you're going?
Well, Ben and I already broke up, so there's no reason for me to be giving you the time of day, to be honest. Most people wouldn't have even have been this patient with an unwanted guest, you know. Did you come here just to tell me about Ben going on a blind date in the hopes that I would be jealous? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I really couldn't care less about him. Or did you expect me to burst into tears and cling to you, crying about how I never actually wanted to break up with him? If you really need someone to talk to, I think there's a therapist's office across the road over there. I'm sure they'll listen to everything you have to say, no matter how unhinged it may be.
Well, I've never met such an unpleasant girl in all my life.
Hi, Marjorie! I'm here! What did you want to see us for?
Hi there, Izzy. Thanks for coming. Oh my goodness. Every single time I see you, you get prettier and prettier. Anybody would think that you were going to be a bride soon.
There's no need to say things like that, really. Why did you ask us to come over?
Do I need to have a reason to want to see my future daughter-in-law? We're practically family at this point. Where's Ben, by the way?
He's just parking the car. He'll be here in a minute.
That's good. It's nice to see you both together. I've been preparing this dinner since early this morning, so I hope you like it. You said that you liked seafood, didn't you? How about you take a seat, then?
Marjorie, you know that I have a refined palate and I can't just eat anything. I don't eat seafood that hasn't been prepared, especially by our housekeeper.
But still, Shouldn't you humor your old mother-in-law when she's gone to all of this effort for you?
But did I ask you to cook for me? I don't think I did. You cooked for me because you wanted to, not because I wanted you to. Isn't that right?
Well, you're right there. But I made it because I wanted you to eat it.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I won't be eating it. I hope you and Ben enjoy it at least. I can't stay long, by the way. My friends and I are having a wine tasting party at my villa at 6.
Ah, so you'll only be here for a little while. Oh well, it can't be helped. Honey, you could have at least have helped me with 1 or 2 of the bags. I only have 2 hands, you know. How did you expect me to carry all this?
Ugh, honey! Why did you bring everything in? I told you just to bring in the stuff for your mom. Some of that's glass, you know. I bet you've gone and broken it now.
Wait, I thought that all of this was for my mom. Is it not?
Of course not. I told you I'm having a party with my friends later and we're doing a gift exchange. It's too much for me to carry, so I asked you just to bring your mom's presents and leave the rest in the car.
Are you telling me that after I struggled all the way from the car with all these bags, you expect me to take them back again?
Well, of course. I hope you didn't expect me to carry them.
Oh, no, of course not. I'll go and take them back. Why does she look down on him so much? They're going to be married soon, but it seems like she has no intention of having an equal relationship with him. I'd really like to tell her exactly what I think of her, but I daren't because of how much money and influence her parents have.
Marjorie, are you angry or something? Have I done something to Ben that you didn't like?
Me? Angry? Of course not. It's good for Ben to do these little things for you every now and again. It was far too heavy for you to carry, so it's only natural that he had to step up and do it.
Right? Anyway, there are some clothes I got for you from the department store. They're the ones you said you liked when we went shopping together before, but for some reason you didn't buy them then. If you're ever hesitating to buy something because of the price, just let me know and I'll buy it for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's not like you have a job or anything. You just go around using your dad's credit card however you like.
Oh, and you said you wanted to arrange to have dinner with my parents sometime soon, right?
Oh, yes. One of the reasons I invited you round today was to ask when would be most convenient for your parents.
It's going to have to be the end of next month. My dad is going on a business trip abroad for the next 3 weeks, so he won't be free until then.
Oh, really? Well, I guess we'll find a day that we're all free at the end of next month then.
Oh, and I'm not asking this because I particularly care, but my parents have been asking. You said that you would pay for our house, right?
Of course. I need to honor that promise.
Okay, great. I'll let them know. My parents said that they would be willing to pay as much as is needed towards the wedding, and that if you need any financial help, they will be more than willing to provide it.
If I need any help. I guess we really did hit the jackpot here. Izzy's family is even richer than I could have imagined. I guess there's nothing they won't do.
They said that in return, they'd like you to get us an apartment in the same building as theirs.
The same building as theirs? But don't they live in the most expensive building in the city?
Yes, that's right. Obviously, we don't need to be in a place as big as my parents, since they live on the penthouse floor. But somewhere around 2/3 of the size should do the trick.
How about the building next door to theirs instead? And also, I think 2/3 the size of the penthouse would still be a little too big for just the two of you. Won't it be nice to have a smaller, cozier place for when you first start living together anyway?
But the apartments in the building next door are a little too small in my opinion. I think the furniture and my stuff alone would take up all the available space. You are joking, aren't you?
Of course I'm joking. I know that those apartments would be too small for you.
Of course they would. My bedroom is bigger than some of them, you know.
Then I'll go to the realtor near your parents' place and see what I can find.
Thanks, Marjorie. Oh, and just to let you know, I don't really like the apartments on the lower floors. The higher, the better. Like I said, we don't need to be on the same level as my parents, but one of the royal tier apartments on the 30th floor and above would be great. If you do well and choose us a nice place, my dad will be more than accommodating towards you.
Well, this is an interesting way of threatening me. She's essentially saying, get us a nice house or my family will treat you like trash, isn't she? I'm back. I put everything carefully into the trunk so it wouldn't break, just like you told me to, Izzy.
I need to go and get ready for the party now, Marjorie, so I'd better get going. Honey, I didn't bring my car, so I'm going to need you to drive me to the villa. Let's go.
But I only just got here after going back and forth between here and the car for ages.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for doing that. Since you've already done that for me, you might as well drive me to the villa as well. Don't you think?
I guess so. All right, I'll take you. See you later, Mom. He's nothing but her slave, really, is he? Is this marriage really worth my poor son getting treated like this?
Honey, which lipstick do you think will look better on me? The pink one or the coral one?
I'm not sure. I think you'd look pretty in either.
That's such a boring answer. You can't take the easy way out. You have to choose one.
The first one was pink, right? I think that one was a nicer color.
Oh, really? So you're saying that the coral would look ugly on me?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I told you I think you'd look nice whichever one you decide to use. But if I really, really had to choose, I guess it would have to be the pink.
If you really had to? What's that even supposed to mean? Are you saying that I basically forced you to choose?
No, I would never say that. Did you not hear me say just now that I think both colors would look equally as good on you? The only reason I chose one over the other is because you asked me to.
Okay then.
And she ends up wearing the coral one anyway. If you've already decided which one you want to wear, why ask me in the first place? Was that a rhetorical question? Or was it some kind of test and I failed? I'm so tired of this kind of relationship. Dating Emma wasn't as tiring as this. Wait, what am I doing? Why on earth am I thinking about Emma all of a sudden? Izzy is richer and younger than she is. I couldn't have done any better for myself. I also really would like to get some of her dad's inheritance, so putting up with this is all going to be worth it. I need to get a grip.
Stop spacing out! You need to focus on driving. What if we have an accident?
Oh, sorry, honey. I didn't know your dad's villa was out here by the sea. It looks like we're in the middle of nowhere.
What are you saying? There are tons of high-class villas being renovated all around this area. Even though it looks like there's nothing here now, once the development is all finished, it's going to be a whole new world. See that villa there? It was completely remodeled last year, and my dad really wanted it, but someone else snapped it up before he had the chance. When my dad first said he wanted to buy that villa, my mom and I were really confused, thinking, why would anyone want to have a house in the middle of nowhere? But then tons of famous celebrities started to move here in droves, and then other people with money started to follow. My dad had great foresight there, didn't he? He really is a genius when it comes to predicting trends like this.
Of course. Your dad really is a level above everyone else.
Whenever he gets sick of the busy life in the city, he comes out here to recuperate and reconnect with nature.
That sounds nice. Maybe we should come here sometimes too.
Yeah, I guess we could. But you need to step up your game and treat me a little better if you want us to have a happy married life, you know.
Of course. I'll always be stepping up my game to be the best husband possible. I'll make it so you never have to lift a finger, my princess.
That's good. I like the sound of that. We're almost there. You can park just up the road here. Thanks for bringing me here. You can leave after bringing in the stuff for me. Thanks!
Aren't you going to take this opportunity to introduce me to your friends? We're getting married soon, and I haven't even met most of them.
I'll introduce you to them properly later. This setting is way too informal. Anyway, I better get going. The host can't be late for her own party. See you later, honey. I'll text you if I need anything.
Am I an embarrassment to her or something? Is it because my car isn't as expensive as all the other cars parked around here? I'm still quite a catch, but she doesn't seem to realize that. Mom, what are you looking at? I'm checking the prices of the apartments in the building that Izzy's parents live in. Why would you be doing that? Did Izzy not mention it to you earlier? Her parents are willing to cover any necessary cost towards the wedding, but in exchange, I need to provide you guys with a house. But not just any house. A fancy apartment in the same building as her parents. How am I supposed to be able to afford that? Those places are almost $1 million to buy, and even leasing them is a pretty penny. I was thinking of getting you somewhere nice, but there's no way I can afford somewhere in their neighborhood. These apartments are several times over my budget. I guess you'll have to get a loan out then. I suppose we can't back down now when I'm the one who proposed to her and you're the one who made the promise about the house. Why is this engagement thing so hard? Other people get married all the time and they don't seem to have to jump through all of these hoops. Why am I the only one suffering so much during this process? The people who have an easy time getting married are people like your ex who have no money or status to their name. If we want to match Izzy's family, who are clearly much richer and of higher status than us, we need to step up our game. We need to fake it until we make it. If I learned one thing from all my years of working at a big global company, it's that rich people rule the world, and nothing is ever going to change that fact. Even if you're the most skilled and capable worker in the world, you're nothing in comparison to people who already come from wealthy backgrounds. If your family background isn't great and you don't have money, then you're essentially nothing in this world. The only way for us to do even better for ourselves is to marry you into a rich family. That way we can assure that the next generation of our family gets to live comfortably as well. I know that, but the thought of spending the rest of my life as Izzy's servant doesn't exactly fill me with joy. And then there's the thing with the apartment. Money may be important, but is it really worth us making all of these sacrifices? See, this is probably her calling me to complain about this or that, or to make me do something else for her. Hello? What is it?
Hey, honey, it's Izzy.
Yes, I know. I saw your caller ID.
You know I prepared a lot of wine for tonight, right? Well, I thought it would be enough, but everyone was having such a good time that we ended up getting super carried away, and long story short, we drank every last drop. It looks like you're gonna have to go and buy us some more.
What? Why me?
Well, yeah, you. Who else is gonna do it? You saw the neighborhood that the villa is in, didn't you? There are no stores around. And everyone here has had at least some wine, so none of us are able to drive someplace else to find a store. So I had no choice but to ask you. It's not a good enough reason to call my dad's chauffeur out either. I'm sure he'll understand. Did you just sigh? Why? Are you annoyed because I'm getting you to run errands for me? Are you angry with me? When you proposed to me, you said that we would become one body. And you promised that you would become my hands, feet, and legs, didn't you? Are you going back on that promise now? I said that I wanted some more wine. Shouldn't you already be on your way to the store right now without a second thought?
Oh, no, I'm not annoyed or anything. What kind of wine did you want? Red? White? Rosé? Some of everything?
I knew you'd come through. I'll send you a text with the details, so make sure you bring lots, okay? Oh, and if you don't have enough money, I can transfer some to you.
I have enough to buy a few bottles of wine. Don't worry.
Thanks, honey. I love you. You're the best. I'll see you soon.
Seriously? What happened? Did she ask you to buy some wine and take it to her? Yep, she sure did. I can't believe this. There really is no limit to her self-entitlement. Who does she think she is, exactly? The Queen of Sheba or something? However angry we may be, however crazy she may seem, we haven't got a choice, have we? You're the one who pushed me into this marriage, saying it was the only way to go up in the world for the sake of our family, aren't you?
Ben, listen.
You're no different from her, Mom. All you want to do is use me for your own benefit. You keep saying that this is all for my sake, but I don't really think that it is. I think you're using me as a sacrificial lamb so that you can get the life of luxury that you always wanted.
Ben, how could you accuse your own mother of such a thing? I don't know why you're getting angry at me when she's the one making your life miserable.
I'm such a pushover. She's just going to act all cutesy and apologize to me the next day, saying that she'll be nicer to me from now on. But then next time she needs something like this, she won't hesitate to make me do it again. But then, what are my chances of finding another girl like her? This is the sacrifice I have to make if I want to marry a girl from such a rich family. I need to think rationally about what I'm gaining from this and stop feeling sorry for myself. Thanks to Izzy's family's money, I won't have any financial worries for the rest of my life. And thanks to their reputation, I'm getting a new level of respect at work. I don't know why I'm feeling so bitter about this. This is my chance at going up in the world. For my own sake and for my family's sake. Oh, isn't that house the one that Izzy was talking about earlier? The one that her dad wanted to buy, but someone else got in there first? If the outside is that nice, I can only imagine what the inside is like. Oh, the person going into that house looks like... Emma?
Dad, it's nice to come out for a walk here at night, isn't it? The sea breeze feels extra refreshing in the night air. How are you feeling, Dad? It's not too cold for you, is it?
Oh no, it's nice to come out for a walk with you or your mother every now and again. It makes me feel healthier. Anyway, aren't you busy with work these days? Your mom can easily come to the hospital with me tomorrow. There's no need for you to stay over just to take me.
We just wrapped up the big project that I'd been working on. So I have a little more free time these days. I'm not taking time out of my busy schedule or anything. Don't worry. And I've started to really like it here, you know? The air in the city center feels really suffocating sometimes. The sea air here is much cleaner, and I can spend my time going on walks with you and eating Mom's homemade food. Every time I come here, I feel like it improves my health a little.
I know what you mean. I've also been feeling much better since moving out here. I'm going to miss this place a lot once I'm all recovered and we have to go back to Atlanta.
Well, we'll just have to make lots of great memories for you to take back with you. We'll eat lots of tasty food and go on lots of lovely walks.
Yes, we sure will. Do you mind waiting for me a second? I just need to head back inside to take some meds before we carry on walking.
Yeah, of course. I'll open the door for you.
Emma, it is you, right?
Ben, is that you? What on earth are you doing here?
It is you! Do you live here?
Why do you want to know? I have no idea how you found this place. Get your car out of our drive!
I was just passing by and I thought I saw you, so I decided to come closer and check if I was right. What a coincidence! The world really is a small place, huh?
If you were passing by, you should have just kept going. Why are you being all friendly like this?
There's no need to be so cold when all I've done is come and say hi. It's been 2 years since we last saw each other, right?
I don't care whether it's been 2 years or 2 months or 2 decades. However long it has been, I am not happy to see you again. Do you know that I had to change companies out of fear that your crazy mom would come and find me again?
I'm really sorry about that. I had no idea that my mom would go and pull something like that.
Well, I'm also really sorry. For myself. Because I've had the displeasure of running into you tonight. I don't want to see you, and I certainly don't want to make small talk with you. Hurry up and get lost.
Wait a second. When you told me that your parents were staying in that cottage temporarily whilst their new place was being renovated, were you talking about this house?
Yes, I was talking about this house.
So what you said about your dad owning 5 buildings in Atlanta was true?
Of course it was true. I wouldn't lie about something like that. Although you seem to be convinced that I was. Anyway, what's it to you now? Has your view of me changed now that you have proof that my family owns this big house? You really haven't changed one bit in the last few years, have you? You're still shameless and gold digging.
Why didn't you tell me properly about your family's background before? If you had taken me to see this house, I would have believed everything that you said back then. If you had used this house to appeal to me a little bit more, then we would definitely have gotten married.
Shut up. I would never have lowered myself to beg for you to believe me like that. You mocked my parents for being shabby and living like beggars in a poky little house. Why on earth did you think I would want to spend a single second more with you after hearing that? You really have some audacity talking as if I missed out by not marrying you.
I'm sorry for what I said back then. I was out of line. What I saw was just so different from what I had imagined, so I think I just overreacted a little.
Well, I don't accept your apology. It's way too late. I already know that you're a piece of trash, so I won't waste my breath on you. I think your mom was right when she said that us not getting married was the work of God. Well, I'm not religious, but I'll happily get down on my knees and thank God for sparing me a lifetime with someone like you.
I'll get my mom to apologize to you as well. I promise. I'll do my best to make it up to you until you're not mad at me anymore. How about we start again from scratch? I'm not even asking you to marry me. Maybe we could just start dating again? Or not even that. Could we just be friends? Could you at least just unblock my number? However I think about it, I think you're one of a kind and I was stupid to let you go.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get on just fine without me. Half of the world's population are women anyway. There will be another one you can mooch off. Listen to yourself. You do remember that you were the one who first suggested we end things, right?
I know. There must have been something wrong with me in the head. I should never have broken off the engagement with you.
Stop trying to downplay things and run away from taking accountability. Words have consequences, you know. Only someone completely out of their mind would forgive someone like you.
Stop acting all high and mighty as if you have the moral high ground and that you're some kind of saint in comparison to me. Because that just isn't true. Do you think that I wasn't hurt by the things you said to me on the day we broke up? You were also really rude to my mom when she came to talk to you. So stop making me out to be the only villain in this story when you know full well that you're just as bad as me. Do you think any guy will ever want to marry you when you have a personality like this?
When did I ever say that I thought I was innocent in all of this? Yeah, I did say a lot of terrible things. I completely own up to that. When I see scum like you, I tend not to hold back with my curses, you see. Would you like to hear some even more colorful things that I spared you when we broke up? It looks like you still have feelings for me, but for all I care, you can take those feelings and shove them up your—
Hey! What are you doing in front of my house?
Frank! Oh, you startled me.
Now just what makes you think that you have the right to show up in front of my house and start harassing my daughter? Get off of my property right now!
Frank, please. Oh, calm down. However angry you may be, you shouldn't hit people with your cane. And surely it isn't good for your health to be swinging your arms around like that.
I don't care. You deserve it. And if my health takes a turn for the worse, it will be worth it to see you suffer. Hurry up and leave us alone, otherwise I'm calling the police and reporting you for trespassing and harassment. I can't believe that you would dare show up in front of our family home.
I really didn't come here to cause trouble, I promise. I think that there has been a huge misunderstanding between me and Emma. I really want to try and work things out with her, so if you will just give me the chance. Hello? What is it? Oh, for goodness sake, Izzy! I don't care anymore! If you want more wine so bad, you go and get it yourself. I couldn't care less whether you're too drunk to drive or whether the villa is too remote. I just want you to stop ordering me around. I am not your servant. I am your fiancé. What? You're asking if I've lost my mind? Yes, I have lost my mind. I lost it the moment I decided it would be a good idea to marry a girl like you who has no respect for her fiancé. If the only reason you want a husband is so you can have someone at your beck and call, if you really need someone to do your personal errands for you, Go and hire a personal assistant or something instead. I know that you have the money for it. Yes, I don't care if you're mad at me. I am at my wit's end with you.
I think the loyal viewers of this channel can probably figure out what happened after the incident in the front yard of my parents' villa. My ex ended up being taken away to the police station, and even there he kept making a fuss as if he were someone important. The fact that he had the audacity to ask me for another chance whilst he was engaged to another woman just speaks volumes about his character. I filed for a restraining order against him, so thankfully I haven't seen his ugly face since that day. But I heard from our mutual acquaintances that after he snapped at his fiancé on the phone that night that he was trying to beg me for another chance, she was furious with him and ran crying to her dad. Her dad came to his workplace and yelled at him in front of a bunch of his co-workers, leaving him completely humiliated. Rumors about him started spreading that he had failed engagements with not one, but 2 rich women, and it got so bad that he ended up having to quit his job, which I know must have been a huge blow to him, because he did actually work quite hard to get into that company. I do occasionally receive phone calls from his mom, blaming me for ruining his life and throwing all kinds of threats at me, but I've recorded each and every one of them as evidence against her if I ever need to report her to the police. Thankfully, she hasn't shown up outside my office again, though. I hope that I never have to deal with crazy people like my ex and his mom ever again in my life. And I also hope that you viewers can avoid ever getting involved with people like them. This is the end of my story. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.